We will start by warming up our hands and wrists. From the sitting position, watch what I am doing and rotate your wrists in both directions. It is essential to warm up before exercising in order to prepare the body for effort. Warming up should take at least 5 minutes and consist of low-intensity exercises that only slightly speed up your breathing without leaving you out of breath. We will continue with neck rotations. Turn to the left, then return to the center. Tilt your head slightly down and forward as if you were nodding hello to someone, and then turn it to the right. We recommend that you start using the pursed lip breathing technique right now and throughout the exercise session. There is 1 repetition left. Focus on your posture and keep your back straight. Let's move on to backward shoulder rotations. Breathe in while lifting your shoulders backwards and exhale to bring them back forward. Perform 4 repetitions. Don't exert yourself too much and stay within the blue zone of the Borg scale, which corresponds to an intensity of 1 to 2. The Borg scale was introduced in the safety instructions section. Now, let's open the rib cage. Breathe in and extend your arms far back, and then wrap your arms around yourself when you exhale. Breathe in, expand your rib cage, and then exhale. Remember to keep your lips pursed. There are 2 repetitions left. We will now perform side stretches. Raise your right hand as high as possible toward the ceiling while breathing in. Now exhale. Perform 4 repetitions. You should raise your hand as high as possible toward the ceiling without bending your torso. And you should also feel a stretch in that arm. Perform 1 last repetition. And repeat the exercise on the opposite side. These exercises increase mobility of the rib cage and make breathing easier. You should not compress the opposite side. Your torso must remain stable. Exercises to activate the legs can be performed either sitting down or standing. To get up, breathe in and exhale. Begin by walking on the spot like a soldier. To increase the intensity, you can lift your knees and arms higher. You should breathe slightly faster without feeling out of breath. Take pauses as often as you need. We will now switch from the soldier's march to side steps. Side steps activate muscles of the hips. They also mimic the movements we do when we sweep the floor or when we shovel snow in the winter. Remember that when you use a cane, you have to work your leg muscles harder as they are stronger and have more endurance. Everyday exercises will become easier. When shoveling, Remember that your legs should take the load and your back should remain straight without arching. We will now sit down for the next step. Breathe in and out while sitting down. We will conclude with our feet. Lift yourself up on the tip of your toes and then come back down. Perform 4 repetitions. Very good. And then proceed with ankle rotations. Twist your feet in one direction and then the other. Repeat with the opposite foot. And then the other. Congratulations! Your body is now ready to complete Program 1 or 2. Program 2 is harder, so choose according to your condition. We also recommend that you perform cardiovascular sessions lasting from 15 to 20 minutes every week. Whether you are performing resistance or cardiovascular exercises, it is important that you exercise at the right intensity. Test yourself by checking if you are able to speak at any point of your session. Have a great workout. Leg extension. The first exercise works the quadricep muscle in front of the thigh. To perform this exercise, sit on a chair. You can also use an ankle weight or replace it with a bag of brown sugar that you tie on with a shoelace. Sitting with your back straight and your stomach pulled in, breathe in and out while lifting your leg up to the horizontal position. You should easily feel the muscles squeeze in the front of your leg. To feel the muscles working even more, point your toes up towards yourself. Exhale through pursed lips on the way up. Keep your back straight and avoid twisting your torso. You can now repeat the exercise with the opposite leg. Perform 10 repetitions. If this is your first time doing this program, perform 1 set of 10 repetitions for each leg. If you have more experience, you can perform 2 or 3 sets of 10 repetitions for each leg, with at least 1 minute pause between sets. Don't hesitate to use ankle weights when the exercise becomes easier in a few weeks. You can substitute ankle weights with a bag of flour or sugar tied to your ankle. This will enable you to increase the weight every month in order to progress and continue increasing the strength of your legs. The second exercise works the pectorals at the front of the rib cage. To perform this exercise, you will need a chair and a resistance band. If you don't have access to a resistance band, you can substitute this exercise with the wall push-up exercise described in Program 1. If you have a resistance band, wrap it around the back of your shoulders. Sit down at the front of your chair and grab the band with both hands. Turn your palms toward the floor, with your elbows at shoulder level and your torso straight. Breathe in, and then breathe out. Be careful not to lean forward or arch your back backward. Tuck in your abdominals and try to grow taller. Your shoulder should not lift upward as I am doing right now. We will now perform one-legged glute kickbacks, which work the gluteus maximus. This exercise also requires a chair. Shift your entire weight to one leg and lift the opposite leg. With your fingers on the backrest of the chair for support, keep your leg straight, push your heel backward, and then return to initial position. Breathe out and breathe in. Be careful not to lean forward or arch your back. Keep your abdominal muscles pulled in for stability. And point your foot forward and not to the side. Let's continue with the opposite leg. You should feel both of your legs working, as the one that supports the entire body is also under strain. This is a normal feeling. In order to prevent possible knee pain in the future, make sure that the knee of the supporting leg is always slightly bent. Don't lift your leg too high. Hip flexion. Hip flexions work the psoas and quadricep muscles. To perform this exercise, you will need a chair. Stand behind the chair and put your fingers on the backrest to improve your balance. Shift your entire weight to a single leg and lift the other leg off the floor. Make sure you have good balance before you start. Breathe in and out while raising your knee, and then lower it back down. Don't raise your knee higher than your hip. And don't bend your torso or lean back during the movement. Use your fingers and tense your abs to keep your balance. If the exercise becomes easy, you can use ankle weights. Repeat the exercise with the opposite leg. This is an excellent exercise to improve your balance. It will make it easier for you to climb stairs, and it will help you walk and prevent falls. Keep your torso straight at all times throughout the exercise, and remember to breathe through pursed lips. Use a slow tempo. Standing hip abduction. This exercise works all the muscles on the side of your pelvis and requires a chair to help you maintain your balance. Stand beside the chair with one hand resting on the backrest. Lift one leg off the floor and check your balance before you start. Breathe in, and then exhale while lifting your legs sideways. Always point your foot forward rather than toward the outside. Keep your supporting leg slightly bent. Don't lean sideways. Keep your torso upright and vertical. We have performed 10 repetitions. Let's repeat with the opposite leg. Focus on your lifting tempo. It should be slow for every exercise, i.e., 2 seconds on the way up and 2 seconds on the way down. You can hold the top position for 1 second to stimulate the muscle fibers even more and feel the effort. Upright row. Upright rows work the upper trapezius and the deltoids. Stand with your feet hip width apart and the dumbbells in your hands. Remember that you can substitute dumbbells with a water bottle and that you can fill it with sand if you want to increase the weight. Pull in your belly, keep your back straight, and turn the palms of your hands toward your body. Breathe in while raising your elbows to the level of your shoulders. Exhale. Your elbows are driving the movement, not your hands, so they should not end up higher than your elbows. Also, avoid arching your back. Tense your abdominals to stabilize your torso. All 10 repetitions are now complete. Seated one-arm tricep extension. To perform this exercise, you will need a chair and a dumbbell. Remember that you can use a water bottle or canned food instead of a dumbbell. This exercise works one arm at a time, and we will start with the left. To do this exercise, raise your elbow toward the ceiling and put your hand behind your head as if you were scratching yourself. You can support your arm with your free hand. Breathe in while you push the weight towards the ceiling and exhale through pursed lips. Be careful not to move your elbow forward, as it must remain stable. And avoid arching your back. Keep it firmly pressed against the backrest of the chair. Now that we have completed 10 repetitions, let's repeat with the opposite arm. This exercise is different from the others in that we are breathing during effort, that is, the concentric phase, and therefore during the hardest part of the exercise. As a general rule, we recommend that you exhale during the concentric phase, except for exercises that require you to raise your arm over your head. When you are in a position with your arms over your head, it opens up your rib cage and helps you to breathe more easily. Abs on chair. The last muscular exercise works the abdominal muscles. Of course, you will need a chair to perform this exercise. Sit at the front of the chair and cross your arms over your shoulders. Pull in your belly and tense your abdominal muscles. You can already feel them working. Breathe in on the way down and exhale on the way up. It is very important that you keep a straight back throughout the exercise. Don't arch your back on the way down and do not curve your back on the way up. Keep it straight. Decide how low you want to go. The lower you go, the harder the exercise will be. Exhale on the way up. Good job. Calves. To stretch the calf muscle located behind the leg and under the knee, you will need a chair. Stand behind the chair with your fingers on the backrest for support. Take one step backward. The heel of the rear foot must touch the ground at all times, with your leg extended and your weight shifted forward. Hold the position with both feet pointing forward for 30 seconds. Take deep breaths while you stretch. Switch legs. Take one step back, extend your leg, and shift your weight forward. Stretching releases tension that builds up in the muscles, increases mobility and flexibility, and reduces risks of injury. Remember to breathe. Let's move on to the next exercise. Hip flexors, quadriceps, and psoas. For this exercise, you will need a chair. Stand beside the chair with your hands against the backrest for support. Put one knee on the chair and move your leg forward. Keep your torso straight and your stomach in. Never arch your back. And do not hold your breath during the 30 seconds. Breathe freely. Switch legs. Move to the opposite side of the chair. Still using the backrest for support, put your other knee on the chair. Step forward with the leg that is still touching the ground. Remember to breathe, to keep your back straight and stomach pulled in. You should feel a stretch in the front of the hip of the leg on the chair. If you can't feel it, you can grab your foot like this. Be careful not to arch your back. You can now put both feet back on the ground. The exercise is over. Hamstrings. To stretch the hamstrings, which are located at the back of the thigh, sit at the front of your chair. Keep your back straight and slightly bent forward. Stretch one leg forward and keep a slight bend in your knee. Put both hands on the opposite leg for support and lean forward without bending your back. Breathe. You should feel the stretch in the back of your leg. Keep your back straight. You can pull up your toes if you don't feel any stretch. Switch legs. Still with your back straight and torso slightly tilted forward, stretch the other leg forward with your knee slightly bent and hold the position for 30 seconds. You can pull up your toes to make the exercise more effective. The exercise is over. Side stretches. Side stretches work the area located between the shoulder and pelvis. To perform this exercise, sit at the front of your chair and raise your arm toward the ceiling as if you were trying to grow taller. Do not bend your torso to the side to compress the opposite side. Remain straight and tall. Do not hold your breath. Change sides. You should feel a stretch on the lateral side of your outstretched arm. Don't compress the opposite side, and be careful not to arch your back. Stay tall and keep your abdominal muscles pulled in. Now we have completed this exercise. Let's move on to the next. Pectorals. We will now stretch the pectorals located at the front of the rib cage. To do so, move your arms far back while expanding your chest. Always remain straight. Be careful not to hold your breath. If you are able to, join your hands together. Always remain straight and do not arch your back. And breathe for 30 seconds. The stretch is now complete. Upper trapezius. To stretch the upper trapezius, which is located at the base of the neck and top of the shoulder, we need to sit on a chair. Begin by depressing your right shoulder towards the floor. Stretch your head away from your shoulder by bending it to the opposite side. You should feel a stretch in your muscles. Tuck in your chin to increase the effectiveness. And remember to breathe. Just as for any stretching exercise, you must hold the position for 30 seconds. Switch sides. Depress your left shoulder toward the floor. Tilt your head to the opposite side and tuck in your chin. Be careful not to rotate your head to the right while tucking in your chin. Always look straight ahead. Hold the position for 30 seconds. And then move on to the last flexibility exercise. rear deltoids. To stretch the rear deltoids, put one arm in front of you. Grab it with your opposite arm and pull it close to the body. Depress your shoulder to better feel the stretch at the rear of your shoulder. Hold the position for 30 seconds. Think of your posture and stand tall. Switch sides. Still keeping your back straight, reach forward with your other arm, and then pull it close to your body while depressing your shoulder. Remember to breathe through pursed lips. Congratulations! You have completed your flexibility exercises and your workout. Remember that you can stretch every day. On the other hand, resistance exercises require a rest period of 48 hours between sessions. We now encourage you to watch the health clips on COPD.